Because if you do, it'll make a big difference. So true story. After this guy in my MBA class taught me how to study, I was doing a law assignment. Now, in the MBA, for non-lawyers, law sucks, like big time. It is the worst subject. Everyone does terribly. Alright? So I managed to get A pluses in my assignments. And if you asked me whether I was able to do that, I would have said no freaking way on earth, ever, am I going to get an A plus in an assignment of law. But what happened is I applied his thinking and his recommendations, which is study in the right way, that makes sense to me, and I did. Alright? And because I did it, I actually got an A plus. So I thought it was a fluke. Alright? So I said, okay, I've got another assignment due in the next half. I'll do it exactly the same way and see what happens. And guess what? I got another A plus. Right? And I beat people that were way smarter than me. Right? I couldn't figure it out. I was like, okay, it's a fluke. Maybe. But if you know how you learn, you know how you work, it makes a big, big difference. You can be very, very successful. Alright? And all the stuff I'm talking about is called neuro-linguistic programming. It's telling your brain what you want it to do. Because it is, your subconscious is actually doing a whole bunch of stuff, and you can trick it to do what you want. Because your conscious is, you're telling it, I want to do this, and your brain's going, nah, it's just not going to happen, mate. Alright, so neuro-linguistic programming is very, very useful. The fifth thing that is important in your career is getting stuff done. So if you try things and give up or try and fail, it doesn't really work. So I tried to find a really good to-do list, and I had someone who wants to kill somebody, so I thought this was pretty good. Alright, so in figuring this out is what I've been talking about, is find out when you work best. Alright? You probably figured out, or may not have figured out, that you can actually study better at different times of the day. Alright? Me, I actually am a morning person, sort of. Alright, I don't drink coffee, which makes me a bit grumpy, but I do a lot of my best stuff in the morning. Alright? But I know people who work really well late at night. Okay, they're night owls or whatever you want to call it. So, for you guys, your brain, the way that you're wired, you will work good at a particular time of day. You need to figure that out, because it will help you a lot on what you're trying to achieve. Alright? So in the end, if you're doing work, it's about outputs. Alright? Getting stuff done. Hitting targets. Because if you're working for an employer, they are, they have time frames, they want you to get stuff done in a particular time frame. So it's very, very important. Alright? Simple motto, very overused actually, but this is the guy who invented it. He's a management consultant from America, and he was the first one that predicted that the Japanese would kick the American car makers' ass in the 80s. He says we're going to get absolutely crunched. And he was massively right. But like the American car manufacturers, like the Japanese cars, who would buy them? We've got, goes 1 mile a gallon, who cares? Right? It falls apart, we don't care. People love our cars. They're like, oh, well, they're crap. Right? So he was this guy that thought about this. So it's about under-promise, over-deliver. Alright? So the last lesson there is focusing on getting things done. How am I going for time? Good. Right. So there's a summary. So I said, show us your strengths, show us what you're good at. Alright? So in your career, when you're talking to employees, we want to know what you're good at. Number 2, we want to know why you want to work in IT. Right? Why are you interested? What makes it exciting for you? 3, we want you to be more curious. Because we're going to have stuff on the job that we need somebody to go and figure out. Right? There's always an element of that mystery and surprise. Right? 4, figure out how you learn, because that's going to make a big, big difference in terms of how you can actually succeed. And lastly, focus on getting things done. So actually getting results makes a difference. Alright, so now I'm going to give you some more broader tips about how to do your career journey. First off, it's not about you. So students make the mistake of thinking that when they come to a company or a position, it should be a privilege for this company to have you there, right? So they think, I'm really good. I've just done 3 years of Java programming. I'm a fucking Java guru, right? I'm elite, right? Reality is you've had no commercial experience. You don't know shit, right? we had a couple of companies tell us, these guys, Jesus, do they have any idea how little they know? All right? You haven't had real world experience. So there's a trick to this. Career stuff is about what you can do for your company. All right? So good old JFK had a famous saying, it's not about what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. Right? What you've got to realise that you need to build a track record of successes in a company, right? So you need to get into a company, do some work, succeed, that will get you further. Why? Because if you're good and you kick some ass, what will happen is your immediate manager will go, cool, he kicked ass, I'm going to throw him something again. Kicked ass again, right? It's going to become more important, and it's like playing a game, right? So I call it, I say to a lot of people that the career stuff is like snakes and ladders. Alright? So you're building up successes and track record all the time. Sometimes you do really well, you go up a ladder. You go up to the next level. But as you do, you're actually making contacts with people in the industry. Right? So if you look at entrepreneurs, so who knows who Sam Morgan is? Alright, more than half of you. Alright, so he created trading. So, does anyone know what he's doing now? No? It's like disappeared. Oh, puff of smoke. Well, actually, he's a venture capitalist. So he makes companies beg for money, right? Or try and ask them for money. But he's actually doing a hell of a lot of good work in doing social capital and things like this. So investing in third world countries and helping making it better, right? But what happens is, so he got very well in his career and built a network of people. So those same people are now working with him on the next thing. Alright? So he's doing all the social good with the same people. Alright? So very, very careful. Do not burn bridges in your career. Right? Try and be very diplomatic, because as you succeed, you're going to make friends and find very good allies. And as you do, you sort of come together and you go up and you go up and you go up. Alright? Because if you burn bridges, you basically take a snake, potentially, and end up down there, you have to start again. Alright? So it is a bit of a game to this, and you need to build this sort of stuff. I still interact with people at university that I went to university with. Right? Never thought I would. You know, this guy went to the United States for 10 years, he's come back. I deal with him on a monthly basis now, you know. You never know what's going to happen. The guy next to you could actually be your boss. Right? Okay? I have a really good story. A long time ago, I had a job at a bank, and then I did my OE. So I went over to England, did all the contracting and travel stuff. I arrived back in Australia and started a company, and I was going home one day on the ferry, and I saw a guy I used to work with who used to be my boss. And I said, what are you doing in Australia? He's like, oh, I've given up on the bank, I'm now working over here, I'm doing some contracting. Oh, I'm finishing soon, so I'm looking for a new job. I'm like, cool, we have an opening. Do you want a job? So I hired my boss. It was fun. Alright, so I mean, and now he has gone on to be very successful for this company, and he's still there. Where I left and exited and did something else, he's still there and kicking ass. So don't forget that the people that you work with could actually be your boss someday, right? Or anything like that. Anything can happen in your career. It's very, very important, right? So that's what I'm saying. Build friends and allies for your career journey. The fellowship, right? Because it's really hard to build a good career. You need to have all the friends and allies you can get. Alright, so part of that is building your own brand, right? So you're building a track record, you're doing good stuff for a company. That brand is going to count for a lot, especially in Wellington. Wellington is a reputation-based place, alright? So people talk about what other people are doing. And if you do stupid stuff, right, really, really bad. So build your own brand. Think about what you're doing for people, and it makes a big difference. Alright, second thing, your career starts now. So what do I mean by that? Well, be on time. Interviews, meetings with clients, doing stuff, be on time. We have guys come to the Summer of Code interviews last year that didn't